Welcome viewers, let's start with our top focus this hour. While most of us are craving for sunlight in this bone-chilling winter, ISRO is about to do their Surya Namaskar with the sun today. Now, India is all set to witness one of the most awaited and immensely important celestial adventures today. And in fact, this is going to be one of the biggest probes this year. Aditya L1, the mission to study the sun, will enter its finale stage, and Aditya L1 in fact is right now, even as we speak, en route to its parking space, the Lagrange point L1. So far, Aditya L1 has carried out two major maneuvers, one on the 19th September and another one on the 6th October. Speaking of Aditya L1, which is India's first solar probe, it carries 7 instruments to study the sun and also the solar storms. Now, this means that Aditya L1 will be carrying out all of its study for the next 5 years. Now, this is the life mission of Aditya L1. Aditya L1 could outlast this as well, but this is the minimum requirement as far as ISRO is concerned. In fact, a final decision will be taken by ISRO on whether to use the liquid apogee engine or any other thrusters to insert the Indian solar probe in the intended halo orbit. In fact, this is the decision that will be taken shortly by ISRO based on the position, orientation, and also the condition of the space probe. In fact, India's Surya Namaskar is all set to reach its peak after the completion of a 15 lakh kilometer long journey in space. Yes, viewers, this is how far Aditya L1 has traveled. It has traveled 1.5 million kilometers so far. In fact, it's 15 lakh kilometers that we're talking about to reach this point right now. In fact, it was launched from the shores of Sriharikota, and it will now be reaching the Lagrange point L1. Help us, and of course, we'll try to understand what Aditya L1 will do. It has multiple components. It has around 7 instruments on board, which includes the chromosphere, which of course will try to understand how the sun works, and also the study will be focused around the corona, which is the outermost layer of the sun. Now viewers, one of the most interesting things about the sun is the fact that the sun's outer atmosphere, which is the corona, is much more hotter than the sun's surface. And in fact, we will be talking more about this. We'll try to understand what Aditya L1 is trying to do and also why this particular mission is so important. Now, Aditya L1 will of course help us in understanding the climate change in the future. There are a lot of solar storms that are also caused.
And any eclipse will not be stopping any view to the sun, and shortly we'll be also joined by R.C. Kapoor, the space scientist. But till now, till then, we'll be awaiting the main announcement by the ISRO is what we are getting to hear, that after some time from now, the spacecraft is set to reach its destination, and we are awaiting the official announcement with regard to this.
Right, that was my colleague Pinky there getting us information about what the situation is right now. ISRO will of course be briefing us on the latest update, and ISRO will be taking a call on what to do with the Aditya L1, because right now it has reached the point where ISRO will now have to take a decision on whether it will go ahead and insert the Aditya L1 probe in a halo orbit around L1.
Journey of the sun. And also let me tell you that any eclipses, as far as eclipses are concerned, nothing can stop the view of Aditya L1, and it will be also then going across to study the corona. The biggest question arise here is like, why is the outer atmosphere, the outer surface of the sun is more hotter compared to the surface of the sun? And also let me tell you that this is called corona, and the corona will be studied by this Aditya L1. Apart from that, photosphere, chromosphere, the magnetic fields around the sun, that will be in fact studies. And remember, NASA had in fact launched a Parker probe in December 2021, which had in fact gone very closer to corona. It had collected the magnetic field and the particles around the sun for the samples, and that had also studied in fact. But India has right now only decided to reach the L1 point, from where it will be properly viewing the sun. It will be studying the corona, magnetic field, the X-ray particles, and chromosphere, photosphere will be studied through this particular mission. The moment this particular halo orbit maneuvering happens, and after that, the Aditya L1 will be proceeding to for the research work around the sun to study all these important aspects.
Right, this was my colleague Pinky there getting us updates about what Aditya L1 will be doing. We'll of course keep going back to her for more information on that. But meanwhile, let's talk about what Aditya L1 is, what it will be doing, and also why is it so important for India. And to discuss more on this, joining me on the broadcast is Mr. Girish Inganna, who's an Aerospace and Defence Analyst. Mr. Girish, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Now, this particular spacecraft, Aditya L1, a lot of eyes, a lot of enthusiasm, because this is, of course, India's first solar probe that is being sent out, and it's a very, very crucial day for Aditya L1. This will again be going into the halo orbit today. Now, the spacecraft is equipped with 440 Newton liquid apogee motor. It also has 822 Newton thrusters and 410 Newton thrusters. All of these will, of course, make sure that it is inserted into the Lagrangian orbit and also into a halo orbit. Mr. Girish, help us understand, for the viewers who are watching right now, what is the procedure, what is the process that will be carried out by ISRO today, and why is it so crucial for the entire mission? Because Aditya L1 so far has traveled 15 lakh kilometers, and today is a very crucial day. Help us understand what ISRO is doing today.
Today, once it is nearing the Lagrange point, the required thrusters and the engines, whatever you told with the different capacities, will be burning in a desirable format way so that it reaches L1 and enters the halo orbit. Halo orbit is an imaginary orbit around the L1 point. The L1 point also is an imaginary point. There is nothing like a point or something like that. So when it reaches, it goes around the halo orbit. If it misses that halo orbit, it goes to some other orbit where there will be a high fuel consumption and you cannot achieve the desired results or something like that. So it will be going to a halo orbit, and we have to keep firing the thrusters to maintain the orbit around maintain the travel of the satellite around this halo orbit, this imaginary orbit, because there is no sun or the earth or any gravitational force at that point. The gravitational force is completely nullified. So through the thrusters, they have to make the corrections to ensure that it travels in the desired path to observe the sun. That is where there is a lot of engines.
Right, Mr. Inganna, you're talking about L1, Lagrange point L1. I'll ask my team to play the graphics right now we have of what exactly Lagrange point L1 is, so that our viewers will also understand, even as you explain. Like you were saying, Lagrange point L1 is it is like a parking spot for Aditya L1, where once it reaches, it will not have to use. Right. This is, of course, being done to ensure that the fuel consumption is minimal, and also the gravitation of the sun and the earth, and also the centrifugal force of the satellite all cancel each other out, so that the usage of the fuel is less. Help us understand why it is so important to reach the L1 point, and also how difficult is this process going to be, because there are chances that it could miss the halo orbit as well. What happens if Aditya L1 today does not really land in the halo orbit as intended by ISRO?
See, it jumps into the other orbit where the fuel consumption will be very high. It jumps into the other orbit. There is nothing like a failure or something like that. It goes to the other orbit where it is not been designed to do so, and there will be a lot of gravitational force acting on that orbit, and we have to use lot of fuel to ensure that we drive the satellite in the orbital rotation form what we have decided, where we will be consuming lot of fuel, and also to bring back to the halo orbit, of course, we have to again do lot of exercises. Means from the ground, they will be doing lot of commands and such things to ensure that it is being again brought to the halo orbit by consuming lot of fuels. There is nothing.
Right, Mr. Inganna, you're talking about the potential of Mr. Lingana, you're talking about the potential of the Aditya L1 potentially missing the halo orbit. If that happens, the spacecraft already has 440 Newton liquid apogee motor. It has 8 22 Newton thrusters, 4 10 Newton thrusters. So again, is there a possibility of ISRO again bringing it back, or once if it misses, there is no possibility of coming back? Help us understand if
No,
there is still a possibility in case it does not succeed today.
No, there is a possibility of bringing back the satellite. Because see, even in
All right.
Soho, one satellite which was already operating from past 25 years, what NASA and ESA has sent, there was a chance that it missed the communication because there was a change in the orbital path. But they ensured that they brought back to the orbital path and the communication was established. So the similar way, ISRO has to do lot of exercise to bring back to the original path and again do the communication, establish the communication and such things. So there is a possibility, even it misses, they will bring back, but it is with a great difficulty and with great fuel consumption.
Right. Also, Mr. Lingana, we are talking about something in such simple terms. Now, imagine even communicating with people online 15,000 kilometers away is so difficult. And we are talking about an object which is 15 lakh kilometers away. Help us understand what exactly happens if the Aditya L1 is also inserted. Now, because when we're talking about a mission that is so far away, gravitational disturbances also tend to disturb the orientation of the spacecraft. And this could mean that the instruments which are on board could not function to their maximum capacity. So again, these thrusters will be used to, in a way, incline or orient the satellite in a way that ISRO wants.
Yes, they have to do a lot of inclination and they have to do a lot of corrections and they have to do a lot of calibration of the instruments before they start doing working it. Of course, instrument will be working, but they have to do a lot of calibration once it reaches the L1 path. So after calibrating for a few days, then only the instrument actually starts working perfectly. See, like the coronagraph, BELC, they have to close down the shutters, they have to calibrate, and then they have to start working that.
Mr. Lingana, as we speak right now, there are a lot of reactions that are also coming in. Let's also listen into the reactions that are coming in even as the ISRO gets ready for the Aditya L1 halo orbit insertion.
Sun is gravity is huge. If it is gets lower than the lower distance than the orbiting distance, then it will be again pull towards the Earth. So exactly it has to be there. So earlier 1995 launched and 1996 since operation Soho, that satellite of NASA and ESA mission is there. So ISRO is doing that is a first time for ISRO that challenge is there and it's achieving will achieve I am confident successfully. And also there are new technologies like the sun mystery to unravel the sun mysteries. There are new technologies has been done like coronagraph to see the sun, blocking the sun disk and looking at its atmosphere corona. So that is there. And in
right, so these are the reactions that are coming in right now, even as we keep a very close eye on all the developments that are coming in. Mr. Girish Inganna continues to be on the broadcast with us. Mr. Inganna, appreciate you joining us with all those insights there. Of course, this is a crucial maneuver that ISRO will be hoping goes well. And again, this could be one major boost to ISRO, given the fact that 2024 is a year that is a very crucial year for ISRO in terms of a lot of historic missions that are planned and also very complex objectives that are in store for ISRO. Mr. Inganna, again, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast with all those details there. Let's also listen in to my colleague's interaction with astrophysicist R.C. Kapoor just ahead of this crucial maneuver.
सूर्य का आउटर एटमॉस्फेयर है, जो बाहरी परत है, वो आखिर सतह से इतनी गर्म क्यों है, ये राज जो है हर वैज्ञानिक जानना चाहता है। इसके अलावा फोटोस्फीयर, क्रोमोस्फीयर और साथ ही मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को भी स्टडी किया जाएगा और इसके लिए जो है अलग अलग पेलोड भी इस मिशन में लगे हुए हैं। इस पर ज्यादा बातचीत करने के लिए हमारे साथ स्पेस साइंटिस्ट आरसी कपूर सर जुड़ रहे हैं। सर, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग विद अस। बहुत ही आसान भाषा में आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कि सर किस तरह से जो है ये मिशन आज क्योंकि पहुंच चुका है L1 पॉइंट में, तो कैसा रहेगा अब इससे आगे का सफर?
देखिए, ये काफ़ी लंबा सफ़र था, 4 महीने का। और आदित्य L1 में, आदित्य जैसे आप जानते हैं सूर्य, और L1 जो है लाग्रांज 1 पॉइंट, जो कि मैथमेटिशियन लाग्रांज ने खोजा था। और सूर्य का ये सांगोपांग अध्ययन करने के लिहाज से ये स्पेस बेस्ड ऑब्जर्वेटरी है जो कि L1 पॉइंट के आसपास पहुंच चुकी है और इसरो का जो है एक स्टेप और है हेलो ऑर्बिट में डालना, वो कमांड जो है वो उन्होंने दे दिया है।